responsible, and I'll tell you why. If you say yes, we do have 6.1, yes, we do get a lot of that paid back. Last year, when we took our
900.
900, we got about half of that back, that's all we got back. We didn't get the whole thing back. This year, the 950 we're working on this year, according to Tanya, we might get half of that back. We never get it all back, we get most of it back, we get a lot of it back. And at 6.1, even if it goes down to 5.5, if we need $1 million to the junior high down to 4.5, that's not the right way to do things. The mill rate goes down, we know darn well, when these bonds hit the books in the next year or two, I'm wagering a bet with Peter right now that your insurance is not gonna be 3 point whatever next year. It's gonna be back up in the area of the normal 7 or 8. Those are gonna be all added expenses on next year. Where's the money coming from?
Are we doing this as an assumption?
On what?
As far as the insurance?
It's a very educated guess. You look at the history of their insurance rates, and that's why I asked Peter the question. What is the norm? Not this outlier. This outlier, this 3 is probably an outlier. The 14 would have been an outlier on the other side. It's not gonna be 3. I hope it is. Chances of it are based on the past interest rates and the past, insurance rates. They're gonna show that this, for some reason, is an outlier. And to take $1 million out of the fund balance to pay for the junior high, you're decreasing that fund balance too much. The state and the auditors will tell you, yeah, they want 4.2, 4.5 or whatever. Okay, what happens if something big happens at 4.2 or 4, or 4.5, even 5, and something big happens, we have to take another $1 million out, we're in trouble. Everybody I have talked to about a mill rate and the taxes going up, and you explain to them, your taxes aren't going up, their answer is almost to a person. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm convinced that the people in this town will be happy as heck with no tax increase at all. I would propose we leave the mill rate at 15, and we take that fund balance used down to $100,000 or thereabouts, so Sherry can do the numbers, or thereabouts. And take that money, put it in the fund balance, leave it there, and tear down that junior high. We do it that way, not costing the taxpayers any more money. Yeah, Craig said it's gonna be less than $1 million, hopefully it will. That was a year ago, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And until those bids come in, we're not gonna know. So we can tear down the junior high with that money at no cost to the taxpayers. That was unheard of 3 or 4 years ago when we were discussing what to do with that building.
What do you mean when you say no cost to the taxpayers? I don't understand what you mean.
No additional cost.
No additional cost, no additional cost to the taxpayer to tear down that junior high. We leave the mill rate at 15. Based on this, and it might change what Sherry says, we only need 100,000 out of the fund balance.
Need
on
less
this.
than that, because of the changes that were made. So, if we only use 15,000 of the fund balance, that puts the projected tax rate at 14.99.
Say that again?
Use 15,000 of the fund balance.
Only 15,000?
Yeah, after the changes that we just made.
What if you leave it the same? Did you get a different number for that?
If we leave the 950 in there?
Yeah.
14.13.
Yep, 14.13.
I'm a
So
little
we
more
can-
optimistic than that, Dale, because, the the auditor said we earned back the 900 from last year. He didn't say 400, he said we earned it back. He said he was pretty certain we were gonna earn
We
this
didn't
one
get it all
back.
back. Tanya, are you still here?
Yep.
As of right now, the 950 that we got this year, the numbers you
the
gave me the
900
other
Based on
day.
fiscal year '24,
Yeah,
you guys got back $699,827.
yes.
So you got basically seven, out of the 900, you got
Yeah,
700 back.
and this year we're on pace, if we don't take any more out, we're on pace.
As of right now, you guys, out of the 950 that you have balanced for fiscal year '25, that were, you guys have spent 463,000.
Yeah,
out of
so
the
roughly
900.
half of it, half that. That number varies so much each year, depending on, for example, if we didn't have to buy a tanker truck this year, we'd have another 250 in. But we did, so we did it. That would give us 15,000, that's, can you imagine, $950,000 to tear down that junior high? No more cost, added cost to the taxpayer, none. If you put the mill rate down low, we're gonna get hit with some increases within the next year or two. When the bonds, 2 years anyway, when the bonds come on. This year, we're gonna get hit with some expenses. And I would, if I was a betting man, I would seriously bet that the state economy is not gonna be as good next fiscal year as the great year they had this past year. Tariffs coming on in this, I wouldn't take the risk that we're gonna get the same amount of revenue sharing and school funding, that we got this year. That's too much of a risk to take. At no added cost to the taxpayer, and I think they will be happy as hell if they don't see a tax increase.
I think they're gonna be ecstatic when they find out it may go down as well. They have had.
So you have to
very-
bring it back up next year, the year
Well,
after?
it can come back up. It might come up to 15, then we'll be right back where we were. But
Yeah, and their taxes will go up the same as they went down.
that's to be
Level
expected.
their taxes up over the years so they know. They know.
No, I'm gonna give them a break if I can have any part of that. That's exactly what I would do for the taxpayers.
I
They've
feel
been
the same
hit
way.
so hard. This wasn't a little bit of an increase. This was to the point where some people can't afford their homes. So if you can cut them slack just
What
this
was the
year.
reason for the
without-
increase, Fan?
What was the increase? What was your argument last year when we were saying this to you? Why would you take 900,000 and put it on the budget last year? We kept saying that to you. We'll get that back. This is the way it's always done. We've always done it this way.
Yes.
Every town takes money from, but now you're the total opposite of what
Cause
you're
we got
saying.
$400,000 extra from the state this year.
Well, thank goodness. That was making it.
And the
able
school
to
got,
do
the school
this.
got another 6, that's $1 million. If you take our original budget at 15.1, take $1 million off that, that would bring the mill rate down to that 14 where it was. The chances of getting that same monies next year,
We're not
If
talking
you-
about
if you
next
wanna
year.
take the risk,
We're not
you
talking
take the
about
risk.
next year. People, risk of what? It goes back to 15, that's where we were gonna be at this year. What's the
Yeah.
risk? It's just, may happen.
if you
But
lower
this
the
year,
mill rate down to 14.1, whatever, you're taking a great risk that in the next year or two, they're gonna get hit with a big tax increase, even if it only goes back up to 15. You gotta
Dale,
look
that
forward,
makes no sense.
look ahead.
No,
Well,
you're looking beyond
No,
what
no.
may happen.
No.
You're
You gotta
being too
look ahead.
pessimistic.
And you can tell these things by looking in the past, and that's what happened. Look what happened when they left the mill rate at 15, it's coincidence, for 8 years in a row, what
Are
happened?
you on the council then?
No, I was not on the council then, thank God.
Doesn't matter. I don't know
Yeah.
what you guys want to accomplish tonight. I will not change my mind on this.
I won't either.
I'm all for, this is gonna be,
Well.
with the school and what
Okay,
they
we're ready to
brought.
adjourn then?
You
What was
guys
the
need to
place
have to
today?
come up with some number, cause Wednesday, this order's going out for.
Okay,
Then
so-
leave it. It's in there. We would have to vote to put it back, so.
Do you guys wanna play around with some numbers? Do you want me to throw some different numbers in there and tell you, now that we've made the changes with the school?
What's the lowest you got right now?
Well, tell me what fund balance you want me to, I mean, I could put in 500,000. That brings you to 14.54.
But it's down to 14.1, did you say?
14.13.
I'm not interested in any numbers, I just like 14.3.
You bought it, the risk is on you, go for it.
Us.
I'll go with that.
Not me, the risk won't be on me. I will not vote for
We'll
the
put it
lower
in
the
the
mill
minutes
rate.
if you'd like.
Huh?
We can put it in the minutes, it wasn't on Dale if you'd like.
I love it, love it. And it will be in the minutes.
Okay.
We didn't put that money on there, you know that, right? But since
What
it's
money?
there, $950, that was Ella.
Yeah, and then you adjust that amount to keep your mill rate at a constant.
Or you would keep it and make the taxes go down just a bit and give people a break.
And we just had a $2 million bond we gotta take out now.
We're
Instead
gonna
of
take
taking
that
it
out
out,
anyway.
instead of taking it out of a fund balance, we know we're gonna have more overruns on all these jobs, cause it's just how the world works. But you wanna just take and whatever.
Daniel, how much is in the fund balance today, right now?
It's based off of fiscal year, so you guys did have about 6 million in the fund balance.
Any other discussion? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second consensus taken.
Consensus of what? There's no way to change it. What's that?
Changing it?
I don't know. Consensus.
Well, we're gonna have to have something to say. If you're happy with the budget the way it is, then that's what we'll present.
That'd be no for me.
No for me.
No, for me.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a tie.
It's a tie. Tie is the key. So we do have the bid opening for.
Time to what, Paul?
Is that?
The consensus was to leave the budget the way it is. Right?
Yeah. The way it is, we're at 14.13.
Yeah, it was a 3-3 tie. That means it fits.
You wanna go there, yes.
Well, Monday is the vote, so we'll do it then.
But we have a bid opening for the junior high before your second reading.
You have a bid.
Junior high. It will be before your second reading. The second reading is the 28th.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah, it is.
I think personally, I don't trust Craig's numbers. I've seen what the construction's been doing lately, so.
good. It'll be good to have all the
And
information.
we have a fair amount of business, so we should get a decent price, or representative price, I'm not gonna say decent. No, none of the prices are decent price. It won't be a one for the show, for sure.
Good.
We'll get some heavy hitters, so.
Thank you very much, Peter. for that. Appreciate that.
Take all hell breaks loose, so we can adjust it on the second reading if we have to.
Motion to adjourn. Second.